Hey guys, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 28 coverage. This is the last game of Starladder I'm going to be casting for the season before we get into the draft of Fnatic versus TR. I just want to say thank you for enjoying the round-robin coverage here on Beyond the Summit. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you guys. LD will be stepping in tomorrow for the last and final day as I'm headed off to vacation to begin my new year. It's been a pleasure. I hope to be back for next season. Who knows? The sky's the limit. Again, thank you for being here. You guys are awesome.
Dire team pick.
So here we are, moving into our last and final game of the day. We've got the Retry facing off against Fnatic. Now this match, kind of a big one. We're going to refresh our standings here. Now Fnatic is the team that we've all talked about quite a bit. We thought they were going to be out of the top 4, and then a little stroke of luck came their way. And now they have a chance, although ever so slight, to make it into the top 4. They are currently sitting 11-5, and they absolutely need this win against the Retry to have a chance at a potential tiebreak into that final slot. rox.kis, Na'Vi, and Fnatic, the 3 teams remaining, still standing for that top 4 position. Alliance and Sigma are already secured. They've finished all of their matches, and they are A-OK in good shape. Now let's go ahead and talk about this particular match a little bit here, and Fnatic going to start things off in pretty standard Fnatic fashion. You can't ban out all the scary heroes, and they will go ahead and grab themselves the Elder Titan to get things started. The Retry going to go ahead and pick up Alchemist as well as Mirana for their first 2 heroes of this draft, and well, 2 good ones. Makes a lot of sense. Alchemist we haven't actually gotten to see yet today. He has been banned out quite a bit for good reason. We always go back to it. That versatility is what makes him such a dangerous first pick. Fnatic, well, they still have a lot of options. The Retry going to ban out the Visage here. I think a smart choice. And Fnatic actually going to ban out 2 heroes that they're pretty comfortable with themselves. Nature's Prophet as well as Bristleback, 2 that they like to mix in with their arsenal quite frequently. Now I'm wondering to myself, could this possibly be a no-tail Wisp game? Wisp does get banned out on pretty often occasion, though Fnatic will break into their reserve time, maybe thinking, hey, there we go, do we want a Wisp or do we not want a Wisp? And boy, do they want it. Now, statistically speaking, Fnatic are in good shape. When they pick Wisp, they have nearly an 80% win rate with that translucent little ball, faceless, floating energy nexus. Oh, it's dirty.
Dire team ban.
It's dirty, dirty, dirty. But they are going to get the Wisp here, and it's going to be interesting to see what they pair it with. Now, I'm going to be curious to see as well if Fnatic are going to do the one-position Storm, as they have been over the past few weeks. We actually got to see it earlier today, thanks to that earlier match with Fnatic. Sorry, I'm glad to get chat, seeing you guys.
Fnatic's turn to ban.
Oh, boy. Curious if they're going to do that one-position Storm, though. And we see the Retry, they're going to ban out some of the classic pairings with the Wisp, and that's one of the problems against Fnatic. They're one of these teams that has a lot of heroes in their repertoire, and it's very difficult to ban against them. There's only so many heroes you can take out of the pool, but in the end, you can't stop Fnatic from getting their hands on some of the best heroes that they're skilled with, I suppose one could say. Anyhow, they have been doing that one-position Storm, and I actually have seen them run the Wisp and Storm Spirit in conjunction with one another. Not one of those classic duos, no Tiny, no Ursa, nothing like that. And here it is, the Retry going to ban out the Storm Spirit, and I think that's a very smart 4th ban, probably what Fnatic were looking to run in their one position. Now, Fnatic have already banned out the Lifestealer, Tiny going to be off the field. Kind of curious what they're going to want to mix with this EO. They do also run Gyrocopter on occasion, and with an Elder Titan, they could grab like a Gyrocopter, maybe grab a Naga Siren, get that nice sleep setup. That's kind of an older style of Wombo combo, but something that they could go for here if they were so enthused. Nyx Assassin going to be the 3rd pick for the Retry, and we'll see where they want to put him. Now, what's great about this draft from the Retry is there's so much versatility. Right? Alchemist could be a support. He could be in the 1 position. He could be mid. Mirana could be in the off lane, could also be in the 1 position. Nyx Assassin could be a support, could be a mid hero. very hard to tell where they want to go with this draft, and I think they've done a great job with this opening. They've also got a lot of crowd control, a lot of damage output as well. They've got initiation with that Nyx Assassin, a very well-rounded roster to get things kicked off here, and going to make the drafting for Fnatic that much more difficult. Fnatic going to take their time, though. Going to break into a little bit of reserve time. Not going to go for that wombo combo that I was considering there, but they will go ahead and pick themselves up a Rubik. Always a great choice. And there are a lot of scary spells to be stolen here. Mirana, the Arrow, Moonlight Shadow, Leap can be a good escape mechanism as well. Unstable Concoction, in particular, what would this be without a rant about how powerful Unstable Concoction is? We've talked about it almost every day, and here in my last day of Starladder, why not reiterate once again? It's not disjointable. It does an absurd amount of damage. It does physical damage. It's insane. It's pure insanity. If Rubik can steal it, that is definitely good news. Now, I'm thinking Fnatic may be considering a Luna pick here. Luna has been one of the breakout heroes following 6.79. She's been so popular, so feisty, and kind of replacing what Lifestealer once was in terms of that go-to carry. She does pair pretty well with the Wisp, though since they have the Rubik, if the Retry were so interested, I guess they could work a Luna in here. I don't know how well it would fit into their roster. It would be kind of funky, but they could support the Alchemist and the Nyx. And they could throw them in the one position and then do what they want with the Mirana. But I think Fnatic may be looking for a Luna 4th pick here. And then perhaps that mid-hero. Puck could be an option as well. Retry, gonna think about it for a little bit here, though.
Lena. Fnatic's turn to pick.
It's going to be a Lena, an interesting choice, a more aggression coming out from TR, and boy do they have a lot of it. That's going to be a 4th stun they have. That is a huge amount of crowd control between Lena and Nyx Assassin. That's a lot of burst damage as well. This is going to be interesting for Fnatic. A lot of aggression going to come their way, and this should be a pretty damn strong laning phase for the TR. I'm not sure how they're going to choose to lane this, and probably looking like either a solo mid, Nyx, or Alchemist. Still a little bit hard to say. But regardless, these are going to be some killer lanes. If they want to tri-lane with that Mirana, it doesn't really matter how they work it out. That is still a lot of stun, a lot of burst damage, and I think Fnatic going to have their work cut out for them. Fnatic have a very powerful roster in their own right, but a very different manner. And I think this Wisp may struggle a little bit against all of that burst damage that they can put out. And Wisp is certainly one of those heroes that needs to have a decent early game, wants to hit level 6 kind of as quickly as possible to start relocating around. We'll see how it works for him, though. I still think Luna is going to be their 4th pick here. Or Gyrocopter. They could still grab a Gyro if that's something that they were interested in. See some folks talking about PGG. His Enigma is going to be banned out here. And I have to say, there's someone in chat saying, you know, PGG has really been doing pretty solid on Enigma the last few times we saw him. I think in Starladder Season 8, we've seen a couple of whiffed black holes, but that's bound to happen now and again. All in all, I think he's been doing pretty well, and whoa, Fnatic gonna prove me wrong. They are gonna go with the Riki Maru, an interesting choice here. We have seen this done in the past. This isn't the most off-the-wall strategy we've ever seen, but very interesting. I think in particular they're interested in that silence. The smoke cloud is very powerful, and against all of these spellcasters, it could really come in handy if Riki can hop on top of the Lena or the Alchemist and throw down the smoke cloud. They can very quickly pick up kills on these reasonably squishy characters. Of course, Alchemist and Nyx Assassin, not the squishiest, but Lena and Mirana in particular. Smoke cloud also works very well against the Mirana. Trying to leap out, just silence her. She can't hop away. Riki is pretty dirty, and when he has that delivery vehicle that is Wisp, it can get out of control very quickly. When I see this strategy, though, I think of Alliance. Alliance are the team that have experimented with the Riki Wisp a bit more than Fnatic, I think. I can picture Loda playing Riki. I remember the first game I casted. The first game I casted with a Riki pickup. It was a Loda Riki, and it was damn impressive. You go for that build at level 7, throw 4 points in the backstab, so you get that 1.25 extra agility multiplier, and it's dirty. At level 7, if you have power treads, Another one of the Elven bands working towards a Yasha, maybe a poor man's shield and a magic stick. Oh boy, do you hit hard. That is a lot of extra agility, and you'll be four-shotting these squishy supports on TR, and that's where Riki can really start to snowball. And I think that's really where he shines. The problem with Riki, he's not the best hard carry. There are many other heroes better slated for the task of just sitting back and farming away and getting out of control. He is definitely more of a snowball-oriented hero, and part of his problem as a hard carry is he's very positioning-based. If he can get behind you, of course, those backstabs really add up and do a lot of damage. But if he can't find that positioning, if he gets locked down, Riki can very quickly start to fall off, and he doesn't have the best recovery mechanisms. His farming tools are non-existent. They're in his left and his right hand. That's about it. Right click away, and whoa ho ho! It's going to be a Starladder 5th pick for the TR. I keep calling him the TR, and that's like saying the ATM machine. It is just TR. The T is the Retry. Starladder final pick, an interesting choice. Now, there is some synergy between Starladder and Alchemist. A little surprised to see a Starladder without a Dazzle here, and kind of curious how they're going to want to set this up because the TR are pretty melee heavy. And my best guess is it'll probably be an Alchemist mid, looking for an aggressive tri-lane with the Starladder, and then maybe a Mirana off lane. I don't know. I was thinking they were setting up for a nice aggressive tri-lane with Mirana. They certainly have enough stuns to line up those arrows. It could be a support Starladder as well, but that's pretty funky. I'm not really sure why they would want to do that. And Fnatic just going to go ahead and pick Puck for their final choice. A very standard 5th pick and a solid mid hero. Still not sure exactly how Retry are going to lane this, and we'll see momentarily here. But very interesting. I think Fnatic has a slightly more conventional roster here and a little bit more basic synergy, but the Retry, boy, do they have a lot of stuns. Every single one of their hero has a powerful stun. And I think this could very quickly get out of control in favor of either side, really. Both of them have kind of snowbally lineups. If the Retry find a good laning phase and pick up a little bit of momentum and take like a nice mid-game timing where they use all these stuns in junction with one another, get a nice early mech, that can be pretty dirty for Fnatic while they're still trying to get this Riki online. Though, conversely, Riki is a hero that kind of shines in that mid-game. Once you get those additional points in Smoke Cloud, that radius gets a little bit bigger, and again, if they get a relatively early mech as well, Fnatic should be able to hold their own. With a Wisp, of course, positioning is always important, and if you are doing those kind of mid-game 5-mans when Wisp is looking to pick up those solo kills with his tether relocate, that can be a little bit difficult. That can make the life of the Wisp a little bit more challenging. Very curious to see how this one's going to play out. Now, of course, Fnatic are the fan favorites here, and they should be the ones to take an advantage. But we'll see. The last 2 games we saw from Fnatic did not go their way here in Starladder Season 8. They were both upsets, and I'm actually going to go back here. One of them was against Sigma. That was the 15-minute victory, I think, in favor of Sigma. And was it rox.kis, the other team that they had a very disappointing loss against? No, it was the Power Rangers match. Power Rangers actually upset Fnatic as well, and another very convincing win. So Fnatic is, well, of course, that was a while ago. That was, back in 2013. So I don't know if that lack of morale is going to carry him into this match, but in terms of Starladder Season 8 standings, they have not executed so well in the past. So it looks like someone is missing here, and who are we missing? Oh, that is going to be Trixie on the Elder Titan. I wonder if TR are actually drinking right now. Oh, this could be a fun game. And of course, Starladder is a good hero. Against Riki, I think needless to say, his ultimate, the amplified damage, does reveal. So you can see some of the reason grabbing the Starladder, and he does synergize with this stun team. But I'm not really a big fan of picking Starladder for his ultimate. I think that's sort of a fallacy. Certainly, it does work to counter Riki, but a really good Riki player knows that Starladder is going to be trying to throw that amp damage on him. And I don't know. I worry that they're going to be able to easily reveal Riki with it and make it happen. So we see TR a little bit impatient here. Kind of ironic as PGG was the last one to the party, the last one to join the lobby. We were waiting on him. Get in the game, we pause for 20 seconds, and the flames come out. PGG, put it in the parking lot, my friends. Stable the horses. Rein them in a little bit, buddy. Pump the brakes. It was 20 seconds. Jeez. So let's introduce our rosters, though. Let's talk about these lanes a little bit, and let's get straight into it. Once again, I am Zyori, guys. Thank you for joining me here in my final match of Starladder Season 8. It's been a blast, and I hope to be back for the next season. I am going to be solo casting this last game, as Fog did have some real-life obligations he needed to tend to following that 2-hour gap today. On the Radiant side, we do have Team Fnatic, the fan favorites here in this matchup, and they absolutely need this win to stay alive in the round robin. We've got No-Tail playing on his signature Wisp, Fly going to be playing on Rubik, and Era going to be down here on the Rikimaru in the bottom lane for a little bit of tri-lane action. Hani going to be solo mid playing on the Fairy Dragon Puck, and up top it will be a long lane Trixie solo on the Elder Titan. On the Dire side, we've got the Retry. They are out of the top 4 here in Starladder Season 8, but they still carry some weight. They could deny Fnatic their entrance into the LAN Finals for Starladder Season 8. Kalif going to be playing on the Lina. Eid going to be here on the Alchemist down bottom, and they will be supporting this Position 1 Mirana being played by Nubik. In the mid lane, it is going to be Yoki playing on a solo mid Nyx Assassin, and that means up top it is going to be a solo safe lane Slardar played by none other than PGG himself. We talked about some of the synergy between the Dire team in the picking phase, but boy do they have a lot of stuns. And Fnatic going to be forced to tri-lane here. Wisp is never a hero that I favor in a tri-lane. There's going to be some counter-warding action coming down from Fnatic here. They will get this one taken out. Going to maintain some vision control here in this bottom lane, and that will help him out quite a bit, I think. They're going to need every advantage they can get. This is the definition of a killer tri-lane. They've got that sure stun, the unstable concoction to start it off. Lina can follow up with that light strike array, and then of course there's the sacred arrow to make it even worse. Now, part of the reason I don't like Io in a tri-lane as well, Wisp doesn't really bring much to the table in these early levels. He's got no survivability with that lack of armor. He doesn't really do much damage until he gets those points in the spirits, and he needs experience. Tri-lane environment is not where Wisp thrives. He needs to hit level 6, really doesn't want to be held back. Compliments of that tri-lane experience share. We are going to see some counter-warding upon counter-warding here. Fnatic going to lose both their sentry as well as their observer ward there. And that is actually going to be a little bit rough. Glancing at the vision, still no vision for the Dire side, so at least it's a bit of a wash. But look at this, Lina counter-warding all over the place, going to grab herself another sentry ward, and is probably suspicious that there's an observer up here on the high ground, but unfortunately not going to have vision for it. May be able to rotate around the back, and there we go. She'll be able to find it. Well done by Kalif there. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Fnatic getting a bit aggressive. They were going on the Alchemist. Now they're going to go on the Mirana. There's the telekinesis. She does have a leap available. Acid spray going to come down. Nubik going to be one hit from death. That blink cooldown not going to be there for Era. And the Mirana will survive. So that Lina going to counter ward, almost costing TR a lot in this tri-lane. They do get boxed out a little bit, and Fnatic do survive to tell the tale. Era going to pop a potion, and that tether going to come up. Wisp going to go second point into spirits here. So they are going to have a little bit of damage. It was a noble effort from Fnatic to try and take an edge while TR were just a duo lane down here, but now they're not going to be so lucky, not going to have that same luxury as they've all returned, and I imagine that Mirana will be pretty stationed here down in the bottom lane. TR are off to a good start, though. They have won the initial warding battle. Look at this coverage from our Radiant side, absolutely nothing. And actually, our Dire side don't really have any coverage either, but they did take out the wards from Fnatic, compliments of those sentries. So this bottom lane seems to be pretty even so far. Mirana 11-3, Rikimaru sitting 8-3 at the moment, and this wave is going to push in, so he'll be able to grab a few more of those last hits. In the mid, the big disparity here in this match is going to be Hani, and whoa, down bottom, Fly going to be in a little bit of trouble. Alchemist going to start things off with an unstable concoction. Nubik going to start doing a bit of damage here. Fly will survive. Now Riki going to engage. He's going to go in on the Mirana. There's the smoke cloud. Era not going to pursue, just trying to harass back a little bit. Spirit balls from the Wisp. Not going to connect. Still no first blood coming out. The big disparity, though, is this mid lane. Hani doing very well against the Nyx Assassin. 21-3 against the 13-2 Nyx. About what we would expect, I think. Hani, a very powerful mid player, and also Puck, I think, has a slight edge over the Nyx Assassin. That mana burn is annoying. We see him leveling up the Impale primarily, though, and Hani with a bottle should have plenty of sustain. Rune going to come out. It's going to be a regen up in the top. It'll be a race to the finish. And Hani is going to come out victorious. We'll be able to get back full HP, full mana. Of course, that is what regeneration runes tend to do. Relatively slow game to get things started. Fnatic with a small farming edge. Maybe some of that, most of it's from the mid lane, though. The top does seem to be a wash. Starladder and Elder Titan. I was going to say neither side should be able to secure a kill, but PGG almost going down. Trixie not going to be able to finish him, as that Slitherine Crush keeps him alive. He'll slither away back to the base with few hit points and mana to spare. So now Trixie going to start to pull ahead a little bit in the top, but it's relatively even. Down bottom, there is some damage exchanging going about. Nubik taking some heavy pressure. Not going to have enough to finish him off, though. Again, Fnatic going to have a good bit of damage output, but not going to be close enough to securing that kill. It's alright, though. Fnatic is getting the better of this laning phase. The pressure is not quite on them to make kills happen here. I think if they can just have a wash in this against this aggressive tri-lane of TR, it's a victory for Fnatic. They have a killer tri-lane, and if you don't get kills with a tri-lane like that, it's no good. And we see Fnatic here being a bit more effective with their leveling. We see No-Tail is sitting level 3. He's had some time in the lane with just the Riki. Fly's been doing a great job trying to stay out of the lane, give as much experience to the Wisp as possible. He's been pulling, utilizing the jungle, and TR just don't have that luxury when they're in the long lane. Now up top, we are going to see PGG in a little bit of trouble. Hani will rotate. He does have a Dream Coil. Going to go ahead and burn it straight away. I think PGG going to be destined to fall right here. A few more right clicks, and that will be an Illusory Orb to finish him off. First Blood coming out the way of Fnatic on our Radiant side. It's going to be Hani to pick up that 400 bit of bonus gold. There will be a rotation up top. It's going to be Eid. He's smoked up, does have a Concoction charging, trying to finish off that low Elder Titan, but not going to find it. Just going to throw the Concoction on the puck, and will return to the lane and hold some farm while Starladder gets his wits about him and takes a free bath in the well. Hani now going to be able to grab his Power Treads, the first set of upgraded boots of the match, going the way of the Fnatic mid-hero, which is definitely great news for the fan favorites here who absolutely need this win. TR struggling a little bit with his tri-lane here as rotations are coming about. Yoki going to go ahead and bottle up an invisibility rune, and we'll see Eid start to rotate back down the bottom. But Eris starting to pull ahead in the farm. He's sitting 22-5 against the 20-5 Mirana. Still very even, but given that Mirana was ahead in the initial portion of this lane, Era really doing a good job holding his own. He's picked up that Orb of Venom as well as a Poor Man's Shield to get things started. I think the Orb of Venom makes a good bit of sense here. A little bit of extra slow to try and chase him down. Any extra backstab attack you can get is good news for the Rikimaru. Poor Man's Shield, kind of a staple item, especially against a couple of ranged heroes. Gives you that sustainability, but also that extra bit of agility does start to add up. Again, that leveling backstab primary, pretty standard, but very powerful. Now up top, Trixie and PGG going to exchange blows. This time Trixie not going to come out ahead. PGG is level 7. Oh, there is going to be a rotation up towards the top lane. Trixie in big trouble, though. He's not going to be able to survive. Starladder just hits too damn hard once he gets up that amplified damage. No-Tail trying to bait it out. He will keep PGG around and will open up a window for Hani to rotate and pick up the kill. Starladder actually going to die to the Radiant, but they do make it a 1-for-1. Both of the top laners do get taken out. That's where Starladder starts to shine a little bit, though. That amplified damage, boy, does it hurt. Minus 10 armor. At level 1, even the tanky Elder Titan can't stand toe-to-toe with that, having only 4 base armor here at level 7. Nyx Assassin going to go for those Arcane Boots. That's going to be the second set of upgraded boots here on the Dire mid. Pretty classic item on the Nyx Assassin. He did burn the invisibility rune already, but we're going to have a 5-man rotation coming down here to the bottom lane. Looks like TR really want to put some pressure on this Riki. And they need to make something happen because this is an expensive gank. Going to take a lot of their effort as they rotate down. Era trying to stay safe. Is going to blink. Oh, what a play from Era. That crafty little stealth assassin. Very close to level 6, but Eid will actually stun himself. Now Fly going to find him under the tower. That's a telekinesis. And Eid may still survive. Era going to be in some trouble, though. I think he is going to be destined to fall. Yep, down he goes. And somewhere in the fray, No-Tail did get picked off. That was way back here. We had sort of 3 fights erupting all at once, so my apologies. I did miss the kill onto the Wisp. Not the exchange that Fnatic was looking for. Hani going to be able to hop to the orb. Arrow going to be off the mark. And I think Hani should be able to survive this.
has fallen.
Now, not all is lost for Fnatic. While that was happening, Trixie saw all 5 down bottom, and he started pressuring that top tower hard. Now going to have his power treads as well as a bottle, and he is going to take out the first tower of the match. So at least Fnatic going to find a positive there, despite conceding 2 deaths down in the bottom without grabbing any kills for themselves. Very unfortunate for Era right there. If he had been level 6, had that permanent invisibility, that just would have gone so much easier, would have had the opportunity to move into Fog and maybe get a reset. Fly, gonna take a concoction as Eve comes in. The arrow, gonna actually connect with Era, which is gonna be okay for now. He will get dusted, so he's been revealed. And they're going to go forward here. Both Caliph as well as Ede taking a lot of damage. Alchemist will fall. Illusory Orb from Puck. There's the Dream Coil. Going to connect with both Lina as well as the Mirana. Lina going to try to pour it out, but that ain't happening, sister. And she's going to fall. Now, while all that was happening, Starladder got picked off in the top lane. Multiple kills happening at once here. Fnatic going to find a 4-0 across the map. They get 3 down bottom, but up top, Trixie going to find a solo kill onto the Starladder. Again, you can't catch them all with only one camera. If only we had a picture-in-picture. Oh, that was technology on CRT TVs back in the 90s. Why don't we have it here? Anyhow, 10-minute mark, 7-3. Fnatic starting to run away with it. About a 4,000 gold lead, somewhere about a 4,000 experience lead as well. They've got a solid early game set up for themselves here, but Yoki on the Nyx Assassin, sitting level 8, will rotate down to the bottom lane, is going to try and engage on No Tail, long range, Sacred Arrow. That's going to be the end of the Wisp. Not much that No Tail could have done right there. Maybe Era could have thrown down a smoke cloud to stop the arrow, but yeah, hard to see that one coming. Nyx Assassin, going to add another one to the board. Help level things out here a little bit more for TR, though they are starting to fall behind at a very rapid rate. Hani really tearing it up in the mid lane here. He's going to have a pretty darn quick blink. He's got himself power treads already. Bottle, magic wand, null talisman, and about 1,700 gold in the bank. Number 1 on the net worth chart. But here we go. Initiation down in the bottom lane. Look at how fast he's going to drop. That's the power of the Wisp Spirits on top of the Riki Maru backstab. Nowhere for No Tail to go. Trying to move around the creeps. Not going to be able to survive. It will be a 1-for-1. Both carries going to get the last hits there. Actually, Wisp got the last hit on the Alchemist. But still, showing us that burst damage that the Riki mixed with the Wisp can put out. Up top, PGG going to be in big trouble. Hani with an invisibility rune going to set it up. Earth Splitter actually going to come from Trixie. Not going to be needed. Will blow that cooldown, but still another easy kill coming out for Fnatic. That Starladder going to start losing a good bit of momentum. Starladder was doing very well up here in the top lane. He was at one point trading even with Trixie, but then that 5-man rotation down bottom cost him a lot. And Starladder has been picked off a couple of times. He's going to be 1-4-0 now. That's going to make things very difficult. Nubit going to be in big trouble. Going to leap towards the tower. Nowhere else for him to go. Puck going to finish him off with one last right click. And that's going to be another one on the board for Fnatic. That's going to make Puck now 5-0-2. Hani really starting to snowball out of control. Going to be able to just right-click that Blink Dagger here, and it's just going to get worse for TR as Hani now is that much more mobile. Now, on the point of Starladder, before we saw that kill come about in the bottom lane, one of the problems with Starladder is he doesn't have a great recovery tool. His farming mechanism is poke him with the pitchfork. He's got nothing else besides that. Yeah, he's got some Slytherin crush action. He can sprint around to get to camps faster, but he can't really clear them too quickly. And we see PGG's inventory. He's got nothing. I mean, he has just so little, and he's going to very quickly turn from an asset into a liability. We'll see him engage on Trixie and might be able to set up a kill here. There's going to be a stun from the low ground. Lina going to come in, and he'll burst him down with the light strike away, as well as that Dragon Slave. Down he goes, and Trixie going to get a first-class ticket back to the well. Now Yoki going to get caught in the mid by Fly, or is it the other way around? Fly going to get caught by Yoki and PGG. There's a stun to start it off. PGG going to come in. No Tail going to try to save his buddy, but it's going to end up being a suicide mission. Both Rubik and EO going to fall following that death on the Elder Titan up here in the top lane. Meanwhile, down bottom, Hani with the haste rune going to be able to pick up a kill onto the Mirana with the help of Era playing on the Riki. So both sides conceding seemingly unnecessary deaths at this point. Nyx now going to be able to grab his Blink Dagger just about 2 minutes behind that of Puck, so really not too shabby. That kill up in the top lane really did help him out quite a bit. In that drafting phase, I talked about an early mech might really help both teams here in this match, and we'll hold that thought as Ede going to be in big trouble up top. Amplified damage on Hani, but it doesn't matter. Puck is just so powerful compared to that Alchemist. Level 11 on the Fairy Dragon. Alchemist only level 5. That sets up for a very easy solo kill. Hani now going to move to 7-0-3. Still a hop and a skip ahead of that Nyx Assassin. But Mech going to come in handy here. There's a relocate. We'll hold that thought once again. PGG going to be the target of choice. Moonlight Shadow comes out, but down goes a Sentry Ward. Actually, 2 Sentry Wards just for good measure, and they will get a kill on that Starladder. Now, mech is going to be important here, and Trixie is pretty darn close to it. He's got the first 2 core pieces, only a couple hundred gold off that recipe, though. He might get ganked right now, and that's going to slow him down a bit. Oh boy, look at that Vendetta backstab damage. When the amplified damage is on, boy does that Nyx hit hard. So Trixie going to be a little bit further off that mech, but it looks like there is no mech inbound for TR, and that's going to be a big difference here coming up for Fnatic. Once they have that mech, they'll be able to take these team fights that much more easily. And we see Riki now getting a little bit more out of control. He's number 2 on the net worth chart. He has surpassed the Mirana in quite an effective form. And boys, he's starting to hit hard. Now there's going to be 2 fights erupting in the mid. Rubik going to fall. And that's the only kill that's going to come out by 2 fights. I thought down here they may engage on PGG, and they're going to do just that. Double silence coming out. Starladder is down. That's going to be an easy kill. Puck going to hop to the other side of the tower. So they will trade 1-for-1 here across the lanes. Rubik from the mid and Starladder from the bottom. I think Fnatic will be happy with that trade. A little bit of tower exchanging going to come about as well. Tier 1 down in the bottom for the Tier 1 in the mid on the side of Fnatic. And it should end up being just a Tier 1 for Tier 1 exchange. Echo Stomp. Oh, almost going to interrupt that port, but not quite. And there's that Tier 1 down in the bottom lane. Will fall to the wrath of the Radiant. So, Era now going to have his Yanj. I said Yanj. Are you kidding me? He's going to have his Yasha. Looks like he's probably going to be working on a Sanj coming up next. So, S and Y. Oh, Nubik. Oh, Nubik. That's going to be a dead Nubik, I think. Riki going to get the blink. One more auto attack ought to do it. And they're not going to need it. The Wisp Ball's going to be enough. Uh-oh. Yoki coming in. There's the amplified damage. And, oh, Riki going to pay for it. But now PGG may be in a little bit of trouble. Fly will throw the telekinesis, but it's just him and No Tail. They've got no damage. Fly's stolen the Slitherine Crush. Going to be able to turn it around on PGG. He's going to be like, hey, man, here's a dose of your own medicine. But they're going to give it right back to him. There's another Slitherine Crush. And they will turn it around. Going to be a 1-for-2 going the way of TR. Certainly not the exchange Fnatic we're looking for. Looking at the gold graph, holding pretty steady here. TR with quite the response. They found a couple of good exchanges, but Hani going to come in. He will initiate onto Yoki. Going to throw the Dream Coil. Will only connect with the Nyx Assassin, but it will be enough to end that mega kill streak. Wisp going to grab himself a little pick-me-up there. Earth Splitter comes out. PGG will throw a nice stun. Illusory Orb forward. Of course, the Moonlight Shadow is out. Not going to connect, but Nubik's still in a little bit of trouble. Several low health heroes here. That Moonlight Shadow just about to expire. Can they finish off any of these kills? No. Trixie going to fall. Hani, he's got the blink. Looking for somewhere. Yep, he's going to find it. No. Oh, God, he's not going to find it. I thought he caught PGG, and he might still do it. Starladder. He's going to make it out. There we go. That is a safe Starladder. So after all that, Fnatic only going to trade 1-for-1, Elder Titan for the Nyx Assassin, 3 low health heroes going to make it back to the base. Fnatic's execution maybe not quite on point, but they've still held steady with this lead. Now let's take a look at item progression here. We've got Trixie. He does have the mechanism now complete. Again, Era going to be looking for an S and Y coming out before too long here. Wisp now has himself an Urn. Always a good item on the old Wisp there. On the Dire side, how's this item progression looking? We see Eid hasn't really picked up too much yet, but this Nyx Assassin going to be working towards the Force Staff to go with that Blink Dagger, following the Arcane Boots. Very standard Nyx Assassin action. And this Nyx is going to be walking around. This is going to be the game of gems, folks. Both sides with a lot of potent invisibility between the Nyx and the Riki. It's going to be a battle of the gems, I think. Still no gems have come out onto the field quite yet. You really don't want to be the first team to grab it in some ways, because if you drop it, then it ends up being just more ammunition for the opposition. Yoki scouting around, though. He is level 12, so does have that level 2 Vendetta. Gonna drop it on Fly. That will be an easy kill. Down he goes. Yoki just gonna blink into the trees. Astral Spirit gonna scout it out, but won't be able to interrupt. Another free kill going the way of TR. Gonna make another dent in the farm of Fnatic here. Looks like Mirana going to be moving towards a Yasha, but we'll hold that thought because there's a relocate mid. Laguna Blade comes out on Era. He's going to get dropped like a sack of bricks into the river. Lina going to pay with her life, but still going to be able to take out the Stealth Assassin before too much can come out. Puck now going to get dropped as well. That's the end of his Wicked 6 streak. They want to turn on to Trixie. He's trying to get that Echo Stomp off. Is going to find it, but is it going to be enough? Wisp going to tether to him. That'll help pick him up a little bit, but the rest of the team is ready to pursue. Nubik actually starting to take a lot of damage here, but no, the stun comes out onto Trixie. They'll turn it around. That's going to be a 3-for-1, and they only pick up the support Mirana in the mid. Arrow almost going to connect with the Wisp, but he is going to tether across the trees and will be able to juke it. TR now going to level it up, and all of a sudden this graph going to start to dip in favor of TR. Experience graph just about leveled out, and they will move straight into the Roshan pit here. Now that Starladder are going to get that minus armor up on Roche, he is just going to melt like butter to a warm knife. And TR are going to get some much needed recovery here. We'll see who they want to give the Aegis to. But all of a sudden, this explosion of momentum, and that's that mid-game team fight that I was talking about. When you have 5 stuns across the board, it's so difficult for Fnatic to try and take a good team fight. They have a lot of power, but just not enough to deal with it. The burst from Lina is enough to take out this Riki. I think he might be wise to bring that Ogre Club into the inventory here. He needs to up that HP buffer. I think Laguna Blade going to be saved for him nearly every time. Lina going to be close to level 11, so that means level 2 Laguna Blade going to cut through that Riki even more potently. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but this game has really been action-packed. 17 kills apiece here at the 19-minute mark. That is one action-packed game, folks, so I am not surprised that we've been going a mile a minute here. Let's take a look at some hero levels, see how things are across the board. Fnatic did have a pretty big advantage on that front, but they've sort of thrown it away. Again, glancing at the experience graph, finally going to go in favor of TR. Gold graph still in the favor of Fnatic, but not by too large a margin. Uh-oh, in the mid lane, something going to happen perhaps? We see some ports coming in. All 5 of Fnatic are grouped up, ready to take a team fight. They will take a counter ward here. And this is the point in the game where Riki has really lost a lot of momentum. And in terms of hard carry, he's not the hardest. There are harder carries around. And that's when the snowball strategy of the Riki Maru can be a little bit of a double-edged sword. Looks like they do want to engage on Yoki here. Era going to poke forward. That will be the end of Nyx Assassin to start this off, but a huge concoction coming out from the Alchemist. PGG going to get caught in the Earth Splitter. He will fall. That's going to make it a 2-0. That mech from Fnatic going to pick him up and allow them to sustain to keep this fight going. Rubik is going to fall. Moonlight Shadow's out. Oh no, the Dream Coil going to be off the mark. Looking to connect with the Mirana, but not going to find it. Bit of a misplay there from Hani. It was a blind... It was a blind Dream Coil, but still. EO now going to fall. They will be able to burn the Aegis. Mirana going to pop back up, so it is going to be a 2-for-2, including Aegis. Mirana going to drop the Laguna Blade once again. Follow-up not quite going to be there, or is it? There's the Unstable Concoction. Era going to get taken out again. Triple kill coming out for Nubik. That means Trixie. Oh, he's an arrow magnet. That's going to be one dead Elder Titan as Mirana hops forward. Oh, ultra kill coming out for Nubik. Now going to be 21-19. Oh no, Fnatic. You threw away your top 4 place. You got that stroke of luck to bring it back, and now they're very quickly starting to throw away their second chance at making the top 4 in Starladder Season 8. TR going to take a solid 4,000 experience edge. That gold graph just about leveled out. They are starting to get scary. Alchemist now going to have a Blink Dagger. Let's look at some of these inventories. Lina going to go ahead and pick up a Ghost Scepter. A great choice here against the Riki Maru. Look at this. 3 blinks on the Dire side. They have so much initiation power. Starladder now going to have his. Any one of them can just hop in, drop a stun, and then the follow-up is going to be there. They've got a lot of skill shot stuns, but they've got plenty of sure stuns to make that follow-up nice and easy. Riki Maru now going to have a Sanj and Yasha, so steps in the right direction. Now going to up that HP buffer a little bit, going to grab that 16 strength, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. A very mid-game oriented item here. An Era's already sort of lacking in the damage department, also lacking in the survivability department. I think if he had gone one way or the other, might have been a little bit more potent, but alas, we'll see how the SNY works out for him. I know Era is a big fan of Sanj and Yasha. He gets it on a lot of heroes, more so than a lot of other Position 1 players. So we'll see how it works out for him. Mirana working towards that Manta style. Her farm steadily increasing here, just about exactly on par with that Riki. And that's a big change of pace from that early game where we saw Riki was nearly doubling her at one point. Nubik has now turned it around, and he's going to start hitting hard and hitting fast before too long here. Starladder will eventually transition into a bit of a carry, and as will the Alchemist. As always, one of the great things about a support Alchemist is inevitably, if the game goes on long enough, he will transition into a little bit more of a carry, has that first value point in the Greevil's Greed, and it will start to add up eventually. Now, there is going to be a smoke coming from Fnatic. Looks like they want to do the wraparound on the TR. I don't think TR are very wise to it. We can look at the TR vision. Of course, they have no idea. If they know, they're baiting this out pretty well. Nope, Nubik going to get caught. Down he goes. Puck going to show off his newly purchased Dagon, and that will help to secure the kill. That's going to be the end of the mega kill streak. Rubik going to be the one to pick it up. So a 5-man rotation from Fnatic. They do grab a kill, but was that enough to make it worth it? We do see some pressure coming to their bottom tier 2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower
Looks like they do just want to rotate towards the mid and finish off the last remaining tier 1 from TR. It is pretty low and will make for a rather easy push. So they do grab a kill up top, and it is on that high value target, of course, the Mirana, that Priestess of the Moon. But here we go. Yoki needs to be a little careful. He is going to poke forward. Era going to get down a nice smoke screen, and that's going to be the end of the Nyx Assassin. Well done by Fnatic. Lucky timing as well. That ward went down about 2 seconds after that fight concluded. Alchemist, he's just going to commit suicide. You snaky devil. That was weird. He just on a straight suicide mission right there. Literally. And with that, Fnatic will clear out that tier 1 tower in the mid. Gonna find a 2-0 and may just continue to pressure forward. Relocate back from the Wisp.
Dire's middle tower
And they are just gonna chip away at this tier 2 in the mid. TR in a little bit of an odd position here. They should be able to defend this. Hani gonna hop forward. PGG and Nubik gonna get caught by the silence. That's gonna be the end of the Mirana without the leap. PGG gonna stay alive, but will be boxed out. Not much the Lina can do. And this will be an easy tier 2 tower for Fnatic here in the mid. And all of a sudden, the swing of momentum once again. Look at that graph, a loop-de-loo as we go up, down, and back up again. Fnatic gonna start to take some more momentum. The experience graph may be a little bit more telling of that momentum swing as they do take out the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. And we'll continue to rotate about. Keen execution right there. Looks like Riki going to be working towards a BKB next, given that Ogre Club. Moonlight Shadow was stolen by Rubik. Fly going to pop it, and they are going to look for an opportunity to maybe engage onto TR. Unfortunately, not going to find it. All 5 members of TR are turtled up into the base, with the exception of the Nyx Assassin, who is rotating up to that top tier 2 tower. So a noble effort, but unfortunately Rubik not going to be able to capitalize with that Moonlight Shadow. Gonna glance at items once again here and see what everyone's going for. It looks like Riki is indeed gonna grab himself a BKB. Does now have the Mithril Hammer. No Tail, going to make the wise choice to grab himself a Vladimir's Offering. Always a good item when there's a Riki on the field. Going to give him a little bit of damage, a little bit more sustain as well. And I was just going to play around a little bit and see, I don't know why I said play around. I was going to do some investigating here and see if Hani was going to try and pick up a higher level Dagon or move into something else like a Sheep Stick. And he just wants that burst damage, baby. Just going to grab 2 recipes, going to move into a level 3 Dagon. And he's just going to burst it up. I like the choice here. TR, they don't have the tankiest lineup, and Starladder in particular, if you can Dagon him while he's sprinting. Of course, he does take an additional 15% damage and makes that Dagon hurt quite a bit. There's the Vlads now coming into the inventory of No Tail. And that's about it for item progression on the Radiant side. On the Dire, not too much either. They didn't have that successful team fight, so they did set him back a little bit. Mirana going to be very close to grabbing up that Manta style. What seems to be really hurting TR in these fights is when Hani gets the initiation. With all of these blinks, we see 4 blink daggers in this game, so much initiation power on both sides of the coin. It's really more about who initiates on whom. And that seems to be more telling of who comes out victorious than anything else in these team fights. Every fight that Hani's been able to hop in, open with a Waning Rift Dream Coil combo, it's been very difficult for TR to turn it around and deal with that silence. But conversely, if Nyx Assassin opens up, if they get a good concoction to start things off, then it seems Fnatic do falter a bit. Looks like some potential for a fight may break out in the top, but both sides will back up. And just going to go back to farming. We'll keep the net worth tab open and see what's happening here. Glancing at the graphs, Fnatic grabbing even more momentum. It seems they're getting the better of the map control here. And oh, PGG, Moonlight Shadow, that is going to be one dead Starladder. Down he goes. No Tail going to be the one to grab that right click to finish him off. But an easy kill coming out as that time Rubik will find a successful Moonlight Shadow. So going to find a free kill about the map. Now 24-21. Mirana going to move into the Ancients. We see a ping here onto the Lina. That was a no-tail ping, maybe considering a relocate. Does have it off cooldown. Double damage rune. Gonna get picked up. They will smoke up here. A 5-man smoke from Fnatic. Where are they gonna go? Not into the Ancients. Roshan is up, not moving into the pit. Looks like they are just gonna rotate to the mid lane. They see Yoki and they want him. Oh, get juiced! That Nyx just turned into a puddle. Hani with a double damage rune. Going to be able to drop him like he's hot. That level 3 Dagon will be enough to burst down the Nyx Assassin. So there you go, 2 easy ganks, and Fnatic going to further their lead a little bit, and we'll see where they want to rotate to. A lot of their heroes still smoked up. Looks like they are going to go down bottom. Nubik and Eid going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Hani going to come in. Eid definitely going to be slated to fall here, I think. There's the Dream Coil going to be burned. No, he will survive for now. PGG maybe doing a bit of damage. Nubik going to be a bit, he is invisible here. That Moonlight Shadow going to prove very effective. And this Sentry Ward just now coming out. That Moonlight Shadow will be expiring in just a matter of seconds. Era going to be able to track down PGG. He's looking for it. The support's not going to be there. And Starladder will sprint away. So a noble effort from Fnatic. Unfortunately not going to find it. Now E going to get left behind though. One more auto attack ought to do it. Down he goes. There's no running from the Riki once he gets those backstabs. PGG now going to be stuck into silence. He's not going to survive either. Puck just going to dag on him down to make sure he doesn't escape. Era going to pop that BKB. He's trying to man up here. He's going to find the Lina. Ghost Scepter comes out. Lina going to be able to get away. And Wisp will get left behind. No Tail will fall to the wrath of the Mirana. Now Yoki's back from that untimely death in the mid lane. He has vendetted up, looking for an opportunity. Not going to find it. Mech gonna get popped by Trixie. And now this tier 2 gonna be under heavy fire, it would seem. Still 2 members dead for TR, only 1 dead for Fnatic, and it is the Wisp. They need to be a little bit careful here for this Impale. Yoki could get a really solid stun off, and they're all gonna juke it. Well done, Fnatic. That'll do. So they're just gonna keep chipping away at this tier 2, but Fnatic very wisely here, not gonna overcommit to it. They recognize that it is a bit risky, and here we go. First gem going to be picked up. It is going to be the Wisp to grab it. So No Tail is ready for a little bit of detection. It looks like they will try and catch that Nyx Assassin off guard. Item progression, still not seeing too much on the Dire side. Radiant side, that BKB was finished by Riki. Got another 1.5k in the bank. We'll see where he wants to go from here. No doubt going to be an agility-based item. Butterfly wouldn't be too bad, but he's still quite a ways off being able to grab that Eagle Song. Mirana, as we mentioned, did grab the Manta Style and now has an Ogre Club to go with it. No doubt going to be a BKB coming out, I think. And Rubik can have a Blink Dagger as well. That is now 5 Blink Daggers. Like I said, the game of initiation. Who will catch who? Whom. The second one should be a whom. TR, going to be outside of the Roche Pit. Gonna posture around. They will take their high ground advantage here. Of course, they are on the Dire side. Gives them a small edge around the Roche Pit. Fnatic gonna back up, though. They're gonna play this very cautiously.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They do have a ward down, so they will see if TR move into the pit. We can take a look at the Fnatic cam, but not look up or use the Moonlight Shadow, or one or the other. And it is gonna be a Moonlight Shadow coming out. TR just going to walk right past the wards. Fnatic, they need to be careful. We see the pings coming out. They're pretty aware of it. They will throw an illusory orb up. That will cause TR to back off a bit. Now the Fnatic cam going to scout it out with the Astral Spirit. They see a few of them. They're going to catch PGG. Down he goes. That's a dead Starladder. That is a bit of a backfired gank there coming out from TR. Arrow will connect with No Tail, but the follow-up's not going to be there. The rest of TR in full retreat mode right now. Era going to pop the BKB. Bit of a mistimed BKB. Oh, but there's the relocate forward. BKB still on. They're going to try and do some damage here. Smoke cloud comes. Nubik, 1 hit from death. Down he goes. There's the unstable concoction coming. Hani going to have a haste rune on. Looks like he does want to engage onto Yoki. Orb going to be off the mark, but that's okay. Now they may find Eid. He's going to try and port out. Telekinesis almost, but it will be a 2-0. Well done by Fnatic. They scout out the Moonlight Shadow. Once TR saw it was revealed, they were sitting on the high ground. The orbs saw it right here. And they all went, oh shit, they know. They know. I'm not sure if Fnatic truly knew. I think they suspected. And Hani threw that orb. And that was enough to throw TR into a state of disarray. They scattered. PGG went that way. The rest of the team went this way. It turned into an easy 5v4. And TR were just in shambles. And that failed gank, unfortunately, going to translate to a free Roshan here for Fnatic. Has fallen to the Radiant indeed. And Era, of course, going to be the one to grab the Aegis. And is that going to be an Eagle Song? No, just going to right-click the Diffusal Blade. Smart choice. Kind of a staple on the Rikimaru. Going to give him a good bit of mana burn there. A little bit of extra damage. A little bit of extra agility. And, of course, you've got the Purge ability. Going to make it more difficult for folks to get away. Hani going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get crowd control, but the support's going to be there. Era going to come in with a silence. Eid now going to have a concoction. A lot of damage coming out on both sides. Dust going to come out from Eid before he falls. It will be a 2-for-0 to start things off. A lot of regen coming out. Hani did take a fair bit of damage, but they will survive to tell the tale. Now Yoki gonna poke forward. He needs to be a little careful. Spike Carapace comes out. Era gets stunned by it, but they do burn the Dream Coil. And I think Yoki is gonna fall. Puck did get picked off. Fly might fall as well. Nubik tunnel visioning here a little bit. Gonna get stuck inside the smoke cloud. One more. One more. Oh, Era looking for it. He's gonna throw the Sacred Arrow across. Not gonna be on the mark. Oh boy, folks. Things starting to look a little bit bad for TR. They keep finding these poor exchanges that just go so well for Fnatic. The graph getting out of control. 10,000 gold, 10,000 experience here at the 34-minute mark. 33 to 23. I think Fnatic may be able to run away with this one. BKB coming out for the Elder Titan. It was looking like TR might be able to take this game. If you look at that graph again, there was that moment where they brought it back. It was zeroed out, but unfortunately Fnatic just caught him with superior team fight presence. Executed a little bit better, and that's where that teamwork history starts to come into play. TR, a much newer roster compared to Fnatic, and it does show. Era gonna poke forward. That's gonna be an easy kill onto Eid. He does burn another dust, but basically gonna be a waste of dust. I don't think they're gonna be able to pursue onto Era, and he's also gonna be amplified damaged. The amplified damage buff gonna be upon him, so that dust really not gonna be too useful here. Still gonna glance at item progression. These inventories look suspiciously similar from 10 minutes ago for TR. We really see no progression on their end. And that's because they just keep taking these poor team fights. They didn't get Roshan either. Fnatic, on the other hand, we see progression across the board. Diffusal now on the Riki. Trixie working towards that BKB, which I think is actually in transit. Yep, there it is on the courier. Dagon, level 5, now out for the puck. And he's got another 1,000 gold in the bank. Uh-oh, Nubik. You're going to be in some trouble, buddy. He already burned the leap. That's going to be a Dagon to the face. Down he goes. Easy kill coming out here for Fnatic with Mirana down for 60 seconds. No buyback available. Fnatic may actually be able to break the base here. This could be really bad. Of course, they don't know for sure that Mirana doesn't have a buyback. But that is bad news, Bears. Trixie going to go ahead and grab himself a Hyper Stone. So no doubt going to be working towards an Assault Kuros. And they are just going to clear up this wave and start chipping at this tier 3. Now, there is a glyph available for the Dire side. They do have plenty of creep clearing and a lot of great turtle abilities, so they will be able to buy themselves some time. Era just going to go up to the high ground. He does have the Aegis of the Immortal, so not too worried to take a little bit of damage here.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Mirana will be up in about 20 seconds, and Creep's actually going to do some work here for Fnatic that will take out the last remaining outer tower for TR. Total tower count now going to be 6-2, of course, in Fnatic's favor. Going to further their gold lead even more now, upwards of 14,000 as they do clear up this creep wave once again. Now, Mirana going to be respawning in just a couple seconds, and I'm not sure Fnatic can do this. The defender's advantage is just too much. When you're stuck in this tiny little corridor here, it's so easy for the team with all of those AoE stuns to just clear the creep waves and find initiation. They might be able to bait it out if they put Era on the high ground. Of course, they know he has the Aegis, but TR, they may fall for the trap. Then maybe Hani could hop in for a little bit of reinitiation. Certainly possible. But now Fnatic definitely going to have a hard time here trying to break into the base. That's for damn sure.
I owe you one.
We see a ward coming down from Fly into the base. Going to give him a little bit of sight advantage here. But of course, TR know it's there. They will go ahead and counter it. There is a gem on the Lina. There are 2 gems on the field right now. One in the inventory of the Puck and one in the inventory of the Lina. So both sides do have some detection. Oh, Puck gonna hop forward. That's a dead Lina. He's gonna burn the Dream Coil as well as the Dagon to start it off. Now Nubik gonna get engaged on. He is silenced. Compliments of that smoke cloud. There's the telekinesis. That's a dead Mirana. Gonna be a 2-for-0 to start it off. Both of them gonna buy back straight away. Still a 5v5 on the field. Here's the reinitiation. Moonlight Shadow comes out. Trixie gonna mech BKB. They want to finish off No Tail. They're gonna find it. Earth Splitter is available. Trixie just looking for an opportunity to line it up, and this may be that opportunity. Era, he is going to fall. No Tail buys back. He's going to port back in. Aegis going to bring him back up, or bring Era back up, pardon me. He'll hop onto Nubik. That is one dead Mirana. It will cost No Tail his life. Right now, Fnatic are diving into the base, but Era saving that BKB for after the Aegis charge. Now going to be able to just tear ass around Manhattan. A godlike streak coming out for Era. One more onto Yoki, and that'll be another kill. They're going to let him get away. He does have a Ghost Scepter. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but a pretty convincing team fight for Fnatic here, as Hani does phase shift that last bit of damage. Let's take a look at the buyback situation. There were 3 buybacks burned total, 1 for Fnatic, 2 for TR, and then after all of those buybacks, it is a 2-for-4 exchange. So Fnatic, obviously getting the better of that fight. You can see it on the graph now, upwards of about 16,000. We see Era trying to chip away at the barracks here, or the tier 3 tower, I should say. Oh, arrow stolen by Rubik, is going to fly, won't connect. That was really a brilliant play by Era, though, going back in to chip at this tower. TR panicked a little bit. They burned that glyph, maybe a bit prematurely. And now this next push from Fnatic that will undoubtedly be coming is going to be a little bit more difficult for him to hold off. Without the glyph, Fnatic have the luxury of kind of the slow siege. They can chip away at the towers. Take a bit of a misplay there to burn that glyph with the Nyx Assassin right nearby, especially with Era at such low HP. Now following that fight, more item progression on the side of the Radiant. Of course, the only buyback they burned was on the Wisp, so that'll slow him down a little bit. But Era now going to have a Butterfly coming out. That, of course, is big news. Already has the Eagle Song. And on the Courier, yep, he's got the 2 pieces, the Quarterstaff and the Talisman. So that will be a Butterfly now, joining the fray. And the Elder Titan, well, still working towards the AC. He's about halfway there. Maybe a little bit more. Gonna have it in due time here. Hani, oh, he's just gonna man up. He's gonna catch on the Alchemist. And, he's gonna be able to hop right near the Lina. And this may cost him his life. Puck gonna be in big trouble. Is he gonna have that blink cooldown? No, not quite, but there's a relocate coming in. That'll end the Puck killing spree. But they're gonna go for the Mirana. It's gonna cost No Tail his life as well. That's gonna be a 2-for-2. But maybe not quite. Era in big trouble here. He is gonna stand his ground. Smoke Cloud coming out. He's got a BKB. He's also got the evasion. So that is gonna make him extra tanky here. His effective hit point pool is absolutely huge. He is gonna blink backwards down to the low ground, trying to juke. He sees the arrow. Well played by Era. Still not sure if he's going to be able to survive this one. The stuns are just too much. Earth Splitter coming out. Will it be enough to save Era? RNG not going his way. Not going to get those evasions when he needs it. And that will end the godlike streak. Beyond godlike streak, actually. Huge bounty going the way of Mirana. Though Rubik going to come in. Will pick off Mirana. A chaotic exchange right there. But TR really do find the better of it. And of course, Mirana going to get a huge gold boost right there. 2K in the bank. Unfortunately, though, Mirana will be down for another 50 seconds. I guess Riki will be down for about the same, so not too bad. But a very chaotic exchange. Well, 44-29. Fnatic still holding on to a pretty solid lead here, but TR continuing to show us they came to play. They've been making good holds, and with all of these stuns, very difficult for Fnatic to break into the base, as we've seen. The defender's advantage, a very real thing, as we're seeing displayed for us here pretty clearly. The difference, though, is Fnatic do have the significantly better of the farm, and it seems they do have the better of the map control as well. Oh boy, this game felt pretty close. Until I looked at the net worth chart. Oh man, that Riki's farm is out of control. 19K on the net worth. And Nyx Assassin, the leading farmer on the Dire, is only at 11K. Exchanging spots with Mirana there, who's also right around the same mark, but Fnatic just has superior farm at this point. Yule's Scepter of Divinity going to come out here for the Fairy Dragon. An interesting choice from Hani. I would have thought a Sheepstick would be his next choice, but he is just going to go for that more defensive item. He is going to be able to Yule's himself if things get sticky in these team fights, but of course also use it offensively to try and set up kills if someone's called out of position, and maybe Mirana going to do just that. Oh no, Nubik, a smoke coming forward from Fnatic. They're going to catch Nubik. There's all the burst damage. And I was going to say, if Mirana survives this one, she will be one lucky kitty. But of course, she will get taken out. Mirana still going to be stuck without buyback. It is still on cooldown, and also not even close to enough gold. PGG, he's going to fall. Arrow with this BKB on. They are just destroying. That's going to be a 3-for-0, and I think we could be moments from a GG here, folks. Fnatic looking like they're going to be able to break the base. Hani getting aggressive. Eid, is he going to stun himself? No. He will get the stun off on Era, but it doesn't matter. It's just too much, folks. No buybacks available. Fnatic should at the very least be able to get some racks here. And they're going to be able to get a kill on Eid as well. It looks like Era just getting too fat at this point. They can't kill him. They don't have anything to deal with that evasion. No one with an MKB, not even a great MKB carrier. The lone defender is going to be this Nyx Assassin, and he is not doing any defending. That's for damn sure. Oh! Look at that. Hani almost going to finish him off with that level 5 Dagon, but a beautiful spike Carapace. Now going to use the Yules. Hani a little bit frayed. Both of them. Look at this tango back and forth. There's the relocate. Blink coming here from Yoki. It's just No Tail. Now he's going to take the spike Carapace. And there's the Vendetta. Do they have a gem on him? Yep, No Tail's got, or pardon me, Hani's got one. But Hani does fall. The gem's on the ground. Oh, boy. Of course, while all that's happening, the rest of Fnatic are taking out that bottom lane of Rax. And holy Toledo. Stardar just gonna disintegrate. Nubik, oh god, he's gonna get juiced. Well played by Yoki though, he gets the gem. Big Nyx Assassin plays coming out. Mama Rashka, not sure what that means. Apparently it's an inside joke of sorts. Alchemist, gonna get melted. Lena, maybe gonna get melted as well. Telekinesis, boom, shakalaka. GG, well played. Come out. TR gonna concede a loss against Fnatic here, but that's a-okay. Fnatic, the fan favorites, they will secure their position to potentially make it into the top 4. It's gonna be a tough battle, but it looks like Fnatic will have a chance for it. Looking grim, but still, they are tied up with Rox. There is an opportunity here to make it if we move into a tie-break scenario. A very fun game, very action-packed, 53-30 in only 44 minutes of gameplay. It was an absolute pleasure to cast it for you guys. I'm glad I got to solo my last game here for Starladder Season 8 Round Robin. It really has been an absolute pleasure. Once again, I am Zyori. Make sure you give me a follow at Zyori TV. It is in the title of this broadcast. LD going to be coming at you live tomorrow for the final days of the Starladder Season 8 Round Robin. So I know there's a lot of you that will be very excited to hear LD. He's a popular man, a great caster, and I'm glad he's going to be able to fill in for my last day. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys, but until next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other. We'll see you again tomorrow on Beyond the Summit.